Welcome to today's deep dive.
Yeah,
We're really glad you're here.
absolutely. Great to be here.
Our mission today is really to help you, the real estate professional, transition from this exhausting, just reactive grind into a sustainable six-figure career.
Right, because that grind, it burns people out so
Oh,
fast.
totally.
Yeah.
And to map out that transition, we've pulled together an incredible stack of resources for you. We're looking at the behavioral science from James Clear's Atomic Habits, for one.
Such a good one.
Yeah, and we're intertwining that with the core logic of the proprietary aligned agent method. Plus, we'll look at how all of this is actually being coded into software through the NovoPulse agent app.
Which is honestly fascinating when you see it in practice.
It really is. And, there's this fascinating paradox that jumped out at me from these sources right away. Most real estate agents who fail, well, they aren't lacking talent,
No, not at all.
right? And they certainly aren't lacking drive or work ethic. They fail because they have a massive systems failure. They are trying to operate outside their natural DNA.
Yeah, and today is really about becoming your own strategic architect. We are acting as your guy on the side here, not a hype coach. We want to help you build your actual high-performance real estate DNA.
Exactly. And I was digging through James Clear's notes in the sources, and this one specific idea really just stopped me in my tracks.
Yeah.
Which one? Well, we are so conditioned to set outcome-based goals, right? Like an agent will just say, my goal is to close 20 deals this year.
Sure, the classic New Year's resolution.
Right. But Clear argues that focusing on the outcome is completely backward. He says there are three levels of change: outcome, process, and identity. And true change has to happen at the identity level first.
Because if you just set a goal for 20 deals, you're still the exact same person. You're just, temporarily trying to force a different result.
Okay, let's unpack this because setting a goal to close 20 deals usually fails because it doesn't change your underlying belief system.
Right. And to master the aligned agent method's success formula, you have to actually adopt the identity of a high-performance agent.
And they have a very specific formula for that, don't they?
They do. It's called the 40-30-20-10 success formula. Basically, high-performance agents have to distribute their focus very specifically.
Okay. Lay it on.
So 40% goes to relationship nurturing. That's, your database, past clients. Then 30% is core business and skills like transaction management.
Got it.
Then 20% is direct prospecting, active lead generation, the hunt. And finally, just 10% goes to content and brand marketing.
Okay, I have to push back slightly here. Looking at those percentages, how do you actually build this identity when your day feels like you're constantly putting out fires?
It's tough.
Right? It sounds like trying to pour a concrete foundation while the house is already burning down around you.
Well, yeah, and that's where the John C. Maxwell sources come in, specifically regarding the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule.
Ah, right.
Maxwell explains that true leaders focus 80% of their time on the top 20% of important activities. You don't overhaul your whole day at once.
So you don't just wake up and perfectly block your calendar.
No, you cast small votes. By taking tiny actions or votes for your new identity through daily habits, you naturally start allocating your time better. Those relationship and prospecting tasks compound over time, kind of like financial interest.
But, when agents look at that massive 40-30-20-10 breakdown, they tend to get totally overwhelmed.
Oh, completely.
And the sources say they retreat into what they call the Admin Hideout, which is just such a great term.
It's so accurate. They ignore the dollar productive activities, the DPAs, and instead they just reorganize their desk or tweak a logo for 3 hours.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because I was thinking about this Admin Hideout. It's basically like running on a treadmill.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it.
Right. You are sweating, you're super busy, but you aren't actually moving toward your destination. So how do we break this cycle?
Well, this is where James Clear's 2-minute rule is a total lifesaver. Plus, he talks about the danger of dismissing 1% improvements.
Because we think we have to do massive action, right?
Exactly. An agent thinks, I need to do 90 minutes of aggressive cold calling right now. And the sheer weight of that task causes oscillation and procrastination. They just freeze.
So they go back to tweaking the font on their email signature.
Right. But if you just track small 2-minute wins like making just one single relationship nurturing call, it provides this immediate reinforcement.
Just one call.
Just one. Clear says, what is immediately rewarded is repeated. If you visually track these small wins, you cross what he calls the plateau of latent potential.
Wait, what is that plateau exactly?
It's that frustrating period where You're doing the work, but you aren't seeing the results yet. But by tracking the small wins, you prove your new identity to yourself without burning out before the deals actually start closing.
Oh, wow. Okay, so even if you start tracking small wins, though, a habit won't stick if it forces you to act completely against your nature.
No, it definitely won't. Willpower only lasts so long.
Right. Which brings us to the genetic and behavioral truth from the sources. You have to build habits that work for your actual personality.
And in the aligned agent method, this is referred to as your sales animal DNA. It's strictly based on DISC theory.
Okay, let's walk through these 4 archetypes because this is huge.
Sure. So first, you have the eagle. This is the dominant, or D, personality. Eagles are highly results-oriented, driven, and decisive.
They're the ones who just want to conquer the mountain.
Exactly. Then you have the dolphin, which is the influencing, or I, type. Dolphins are super social, enthusiastic, and highly influential.
The life of the party, basically.
Right. They build huge, warm networks. Third is the elephant. This maps to the steady, or S, personality. They are incredibly loyal, reliable, and supportive.
They're the ones holding your hand through a scary home inspection.
Exactly. And finally, the owl. This is the conscientious, or C type. Owls are very analytical, detailed, and precise.
They actually read the entire contract before signing.
Every single word.
Okay, so here is my question. Let's say I'm an elephant. I'm steady and supportive, and I just absolutely hate aggressive cold calling. Am I just doomed in that 20% direct prospecting phase?
What's fascinating here is that, no, you aren't doomed at all. You just changed the style of the habit.
Oh, really? How does that work?
The requirement for prospecting doesn't go away, but the execution changes. An elephant prospects through steadfast community support and warm relationship building.
Well, an eagle might just love the thrill of cold calling.
Exactly. An eagle thrives on direct cold calling. But aligning your dollar productive activities to your animal DNA removes all that internal friction. It makes the habit easy to maintain.
That makes so much sense. We know we need identity-based habits. We know the 40-30-20-10 formula, and we now know our sales animal DNA.
But putting it all together is the trick.
Right. How on earth do we keep track of all this while actually out there selling houses?
Well, that's where the tool comes in, the Nova Pulse Agent app.
Yeah, the sources talk a lot about this app.
It's explicitly designed as this operational guide on the side to track an agent's daily pulse. It's not just a normal CRM.
It's like they took Atomic Habits and just hard-coded it into an app.
That's exactly what they did. One of the coolest features is the AI strategy designer. It totally removes decision fatigue.
Which is what causes people to run to the Admin Hideout in the first place.
Right. You open your laptop and wonder what to do, and your brain just gives up. But the app suggests exactly 5 high-impact missions tailored directly to your sales animal DNA.
So if you're an elephant, it gives you elephant tasks.
Yes, exactly. It also uses DPA gamification. It uses a point system where you aim for 360 points. This makes habit tracking deeply satisfying, which is actually Clear's 4th law of behavior change.
Oh, yeah. And I have to say, my favorite part of this app is the anti-hideout mechanics.
Oh, it's brilliant.
The AI is hard-coded to ignore admin core maintenance tasks.
Yeah, you get 0 points for reorganizing your email folders.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It only rewards tasks that move the needle in the 40-30-20-10 formula. And I was reading about this one feature they call surgical updates.
Yes, the visual aspect.
Right.
Okay.
When you log a call, it just moves the progress bar. The whole screen doesn't refresh or flicker. It just creates this completely seamless psychological reward.
It removes all the friction.
Yeah. So what does this all mean?
Well, it essentially functions as an external identity reinforcement loop. It actively keeps you in what they call the success buffer.
Okay, wait. Explain the success buffer calculation. It was deals times 25, right?
Deals times 25 times 1.12. It ensures that every small action is a deliberate vote for the high-performing agent you are becoming. And it's perfectly customized to your natural DISC style.
So the 1.20 is like a 20% safety margin, but the 25 is the number of aligned contacts it takes to close one deal.
Exactly. It uses hard data to guarantee you stay on track.
Man, that is powerful. It reminds us that sustainable success isn't about massive, exhausting action.
No, it really isn't.
And it's not about forcing yourself into a mold that just doesn't fit you. It's about identity-based habits, honoring your sales animal DNA, honoring the 40-30-20-10 distribution, and, using a tracking tool like NovaPulse to stay out of that admin hideout.
It's all about alignment. And I'd love to leave the listener with a final, lingering question to just sort of mull over today.
Go for it.
Think about the last 24 hours of your workday. If a stranger were to look at your habit scorecard for just yesterday, What specific identity were your actions casting a vote for?
Wow.
Were you voting for the reactive grinder, or were you voting for the aligned six-figure architect of your own life?
That is the perfect thought to end on. You have to cast the right votes. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.
My pleasure.
Get out there and start building your high-performance DNA today.